You see, you guys are plenty, abundant. Okay, young people. See, that's why I tell you, you guys have this. Our continent is yours. Okay,
Yeah.
but many young Africans have lost hope.
Mm.
They are not doing much to develop themselves.
Mm.
What do you think is responsible for that loss of hope, and how can they revive it? You see me, I say how they will revive it, because nobody can do it for them.
No, no,
okay,
no.
we can advise, but they
Yeah,
need to do it.
exactly, exactly.
So
And we could list all the problems, right? We can list media, we can list governments, we can list all these things. But a big factor and a big part that I found was storytelling, narratives, narratives. So the narrative right now is there's no hope for Africa. And yeah, I can stand here and say that no, I think there's hope for Africa, and I can preach it and speak about it. But it's the majority you and I are referring to now. The
yeah,
people that have really lost hope because no one is giving them any other story that they can kind of live off. All they hear is the same things. Your country is the highest unemployment rate. Your country has the most this. There won't be jobs in the future in your country. You guys will have this problem. And I think we've been speaking about so many problems, which there are. I will not take away that there are these problems on the African continent. But I really wish that we were sharing more stories of hope, more stories of success, more stories of Africans doing amazing things within the continent, not just leaving. Because I can sit here and have this conversation with you as a Pan-Africanist, but I haven't always been that. In school,
okay.
I had a dream. I had a dream to go to the US and to further my studies there, to get a degree there, to get a job there, and to live there. And then when it wasn't the US, it was the UK. That was the other dream. To go to the UK, to study in the UK, to live in the UK. And then I thought of Asia even. I was like, maybe I can go to the Asian market. But do you think anywhere at that point I thought I can go to Africa, stay in my own continent, go to East Africa, to Kigali, to Rwanda, and do something there, go to Nairobi, go to Lagos in Nigeria, amazing places. But I didn't have that in me. Why? Because no one was telling me about these places. No one was telling me about all the good things happening at these places. All that was being told to me was that there aren't enough opportunities on the African continent,
Yeah.
that the government was bad, that I should leave as soon as I can. This is the story I was hearing. And then what I was seeing as well, I'm seeing people leaving. I'm seeing this brain drain of really amazing minds telling us that now they're living here, they've moved over to here. And for me, to those Africans, to those young Africans who have lost hope, and I have friends like this, by the way. I went to in South Africa, because South Africa's got this problem right now. I have friends that I have to almost fight for them to stay in South Africa. They have plans to go to Australia, have plans to go to China, they have plans to go to the UK, to the US, and I have to try convince them to stay on the continent. I have to come to Kigali and kind of have this almost a proof to say that, guys, there are better places on the continent. You can, before you leave, try experience more of it. Try, yeah, exactly. And I've been struggling. You know, you ask me what can we tell them? How do I go? It's just, I've been struggling so much to tell my own friends, people that are close to me, to say, guys, here's a reason to stay. And we, I think, as a collective, have not given the youth enough reasons to see or have that hope. But it's stories, it's conversations like this, firstly, and it's sharing the stories of I want to say success stories of people doing amazing things on the continent that will change it. But it's going to be a big factor. It's going to be changing a narrative. Yeah. And for me, changing a narrative can only happen through better storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. That's very, very true. Now, yes, we need to tell we need to tell better stories about Africa. But for me, I think stories, but I think we need to see ourselves not just as Africans, as human beings. You see, when we see ourselves as human beings, then the range of stories increases. We can now see the story of the entrepreneurs who built America, the greatest country ever on our planet.
Yeah.
We can see their stories and we can see us doing the same thing in Africa.
Exactly.
You see?
Yeah. That is powerful.
Yes. Just like you say, narrative. See, this narrative about us being Africans and they being Europeans and they being Asians is also part of the destruction.
It is.
We can't see them and see ourselves in them.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad you mentioned it. I'm so glad you mentioned it.
See, I tell people, I've mentioned this on this podcast. Yes, I host this beautiful podcast. I'm African, but I do this as an African because African is behind. I see myself first and foremost as a human being.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
powerful.
See, I want more of us to see ourselves as humans.
Yeah.
And pick things from anywhere else where people have done something.
Yeah.
Pick examples anywhere else and bring it here, adapt them to the environment and implement. Yes,
powerful.
We have people doing that in the tech space. Okay.
Yeah.
We have people doing that in the music industry, film industry, but we need more and more people to do that. And like you said, you are who you are today because of the books you read. I'm sure maybe at least 60% of these books are not written by Africans.
No.
Okay. See, I read a lot of books written by Africans, but the majority of the books I read were written by Europeans.
It's true. It's true.
I have always seen myself as human, and whatever I write in wherever they are from, I just see myself in them.
Yeah.
So we need more people to see ourselves in our brothers and sisters from everywhere in the world.
I'm glad you said it, and the way you put it together is inspiring, because